to treat all of you like young adults. Your phones need to be on. Your cameras need to be on. Aneka, you had the problem last time. You got to fix your phone today. So if it's not on, Aneka, I'm going to have to remove you from the class. So you got a couple of minutes to go ahead and fix this. I'm going to go ahead and get going. So let's talk about young drivers and risk awareness. Risk is about increased passengers. The more passengers you have in the car, the more likely you are to crash. Okay? So you need to be aware of this. You're going to have a test coming up. 20 questions. Okay? It's not a lot. So if you miss more than 7 or 8, you're going to end up failing. So you have to take good notes. You have notes that were given to you by the company. You need to look at those notes and make sure you're following along. Okay? In segment 2, a lot of kids fall off. Hey, I'm 16. I'm 17. I don't need to take notes. It's so far from the truth. You're going to end up failing. I don't want to see you fail, but some of you will because we're lazy as human beings. So don't be that kid. So risk awareness does increase with more passengers. Fatal car crashes involving young drivers, especially 2/3 of them are killed when another passenger's in the car. So what do you need to do? You need to limit the number of passengers in your vehicle. If you're not going to limit the number of passengers in your vehicle, then you're going to end up possibly getting distracted, run a light, rear end someone, okay? I'm going to show you some other information too. You're going to get a mixture of some of the company's notes and some other resources, and you're going to see a video too that is aimed toward you as a segment 2 student. So let's go ahead and keep it going, and let's keep it crispy. Let's type here in the chat. I'll take attendance at the end. All of you type here. Your name will appear. You need to have your first and last name. If your first and last name is not in there when you type here, you'll be marked absent, and then your day won't count. I'll say it again. 3:39 p.m. The instructor asks all the students to type in here. I'll take attendance in the end. If your name doesn't appear in the chat, you will be marked as absent. And the company's very serious about this. So I'm letting all of you know this. So I'm going to keep going. Georgia, I need you to get that camera on because we want to do our best work. All right. All of you should be able to see this. Alcohol is a huge factor in young people's lives. This is aimed at segment 2. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these things. Peer pressure. It's the number one thing you're going to deal with. You need to write down peer pressure. Okay, you're going to take notes. If you want to pass this test, it's here. If you want to play and I have your camera on and be a silhouette, then I feel sorry for you. Peer pressure is the number one thing that young people face today. So what I need you to do is try to say no. It's hard for a young person to say no when you have peer pressure. Group influence. Hey, come on, let's go out and drink. Hey, let's go to my friend's house. His parents are chilled about alcohol. You don't need to be caught up in that. Okay, all of you are going to be going to grad parties very soon. I'm going to keep going and not waste your time. You're going to have a great day. You're going to work very hard in the front end of the class. Alcohol is the number one drug of choice by teens. You need to be writing this down. You're going to see this video. This is going to give you some insight into how and why young adults, because you all start at young ages. You don't start as an old person, 30, 40, 50. You start at 13, you start at 15, you start at 17, experimenting with alcohol, you get caught up. Alcohol and marijuana are gateway drugs. They're going to lead you to another drug. We have very strict laws in our state. So if you get caught up in this, I feel sorry for you. So let's keep it going. Alcohol makes you lose focus. You're going to have conflicts with your mom and dad. You're going to have potential problems with law enforcement. You could get arrested. You could go to jail. You're going to be on probation. Many of you are going to be going to college next year, the year after. If you're on probation and you might not be able to go to college, you should have been going to Texas, Nebraska, but not hating, you're going to a community college. So let's again review. Alcohol is the number one drug of choice by teens. All of you are teens. You're not 19, you're not 20, you're 16, you're 17, you're 18, and that's beautiful. But you don't want to be a teen forever. You want to grow to the next level. So alcohol leads to loss of memory. You're going to have conflicts with your mom and dad because they're going to be getting in your grill. And then you're going to have problems with law enforcement. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's have fun. Also, it's going to lead to alcoholism, because once you start drinking or using drugs, you're going to feel a certain type of way. And then you're going to get used to feeling that certain type of way. You're stressed at school. You're stressed at home. Your mom and dad are on you about grades. Your teachers are on you. Your coaches on you. Your driving instructor's on you. Now, man, I need to have a drink to relax. So you start drinking once a week. Then you start drinking on Friday. Then you start drinking. You understand what I'm saying? So you're going to become an alcoholic because your body is used to this chemical coming in. Okay? This is going to lead you to other drugs. I'm going to keep this going. This is quite involved. This is going to lead you to other drugs. Watch this. Okay? It's really important. Just watch this. Let's move ahead.
You can get alcohol poisoning, which could lead you to go into a coma or even kill you.
12 years old. I was in the 7th grade.
When I was in 8th grade, I think I was 13 years old.
It became very regular at 14 years of age.
15 years old when I first started drinking.
17 years old, started going out to parties, doing things like that.
At first, drinking was a sociable thing, you know. I drank with my friends.
Thought I was really cool going out with all the older guys. And I tried to show off in front of them and drink myself stupid. They just go out and party all night.
By the time I was probably 15 is where I started drinking at school. Putting it in a water bottle, I would take vodka or gin, something clear that looked like water, and I would just drink in class and pop mints in my mouth.
We'd go in, break into his parents' liquor cabinet, fill up our super big gulps full of ice and Everclear, and then stop by 7-Eleven and fill the rest of it up with Coke, and then make it to first period.
I was drinking not just at parties and stuff, but after classes and after work and even at work.
I waited tables, so it was very easy access to alcohol.
It was just hard to say no. It was so readily available and it was constantly there.
My drug problem wasn't something that happened immediately. It happened so slowly that I missed the fact that I was addicted to it.
It became a routine, a way of life.
The only type of people I would hang out with were people who were using drugs or drinking alcohol. And it got to the point where that's all I cared about.
It became far more than just a partying thing. It was a necessity.
Without having alcohol in me, I could not function.
We kind of became a loner because all I ever wanted to do was just drink and drink and drink.
It felt like it was my only friend. Felt that it was always...
Alcohol is your friend because you're going to hang out with people who drink. You're going to hang out with people who use. You're not going to hang out with the people who are getting good grades. You're not going to hang out with people who are helping in the community. You're going to hang out with people who are losers, who don't want to go to school, who want to steal to get money for their drugs and alcohol. If you go down this path, it's going to be a very slow path, but eventually you're going to be disconnected from your family. This is what's going to happen to some of you who get caught up in the wrong type of situations. I want to go back to the notes here and read some information. You're going to get a mixture of both. Listen, the responsibility to say no to impaired driving. We have very strict laws in our state on driving impairment. 24% of 15 to 20-year-olds involved in fatal crashes were drinking. So if you're going to be involved in a crash, perhaps some of you have been drinking. Many of you are between 15 and 20. Drivers ages 21 to 24 have the highest percentage of alcohol in fatal car crashes. Drivers, so if you make it to 21 and now legally in our state you can drink, now you're going to be drinking too much. You're going to be drinking, and the first drink, your skill set is affected, and as a result, you're going to go over the information. So what I need you to do is think for a moment. Okay, you're done thinking. Your first drink is going to impact you. Alcohol is a gateway drug. Marijuana is the gateway drug. It's going to lead to harder drugs. And unfortunately, your age group dies. You're going to think you're purchasing a street type drug and it's horse tranquilizers in it. There are other medications that are mixed. You're going to consume something and you're going to have an overdose and die. Narcan is a drug that is used to bring people back from the dead. Unfortunately, in your age group, you're going to experiment with drugs. I'm not in your age group. I have a family. I have 2 jobs. I build computers. I'm a gamer. I drag race. Why would I take drugs? But in your life, you might be secluded. You might be an athlete. You might be a regular chill person who maybe meets someone, you like them, you start hanging out, you go to their parents' house, their parents' use. So you, as a young person, could be exposed to things that you're like, I don't want to be over here, but I like him, ladies. Or guys, I don't want to be over here, but man, she is so beautiful. But she or her parents are doing things that your parents have warned you about. That's that peer pressure. That's what you're going to be dealing with. So I really need you to think for a moment. You're done thinking. Your parents are going to take the keys away. But some of you will steal the keys from your parents because you're already hooked in that drinking, drug state. And then your parents are going to be fighting with you. Then you're going to go to your friend's house for a night because your mom or dad kicked you out. Or now you won't come home for 24 or 36 hours. Your parents are too embarrassed to tell or ask for help. I'm reading. The greatest blood alcohol concentration, the greater risk of being involved in the fatal crash in Michigan, in other states, across the country. 0.08. You need to write it down. Across the country, 0.08 is the max. If you're over this, you are intoxicated. And because you're under 21, it is less. So now, oh man, I had a drink, I had a shot. You legally can't drive. Hey, can you drive me home? And your parents are like, where's the car? I don't know. I had a flat tire and my friend's dad is going to drive it home because you're going to start telling lies. You're going to tell one lie to cover your other lie. And now you told two lies. And then you're saying, I don't know what I told him. Okay? Young people who drink and drive have a greater chance of being in a crash than older drivers because alcohol affects younger people more. It affects you more. You're going to be more of a out-of-pocket state. Where someone who's been drinking 5, 10, 20 years, they're an alcoholic, they can kind of stand up, they smell like a bunch of alcohol, they can walk, they can hold a conversation, but you, because your body's not used to it, you're sleeping, or you want to argue, or you want to fight, or you do something that you're not supposed to and you get in trouble. Your parents have to take the keys away. You can call a cab, no one should drive drunk, Uber, Lyft. Have him or her stay overnight. You should not be driving under the influence. I'm reading from the manual. Pay attention. Some of you are like, oh, this is so fun. Okay. Alternatives. Do something else. Involve your friends in other activities. Dancing games, board games. Agree to have a designated driver. On average, one alcoholic impaired drunk fatality occurs every 48 minutes. Our class is 2 hours long. 2 people will die in the country because of alcohol-related fatalities. 2 people. Oh, it's not my friend. It's not my mom. Okay. The alcoholic person never really gets hurt. They kill your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother. Being in a chance to be in segment 2 is a big step. But many of you are taking it so lightly and so casual. I can tell by you guys sitting here. It's fine. It's cool. Okay. I'll be seeing you this week and hopefully you pass your test. Okay, I have a segment 2 quiz for you. I have segment 2 targeted stuff for you. You should be taking notes. You should be like, man, I can't go over that guy's house. I can't go over that girl's house. I shouldn't go to that party. Over 10,800 people are killed in an alcohol-related fatality each year. 10,800 people are killed each year because of an alcohol-related fatality. Under law in our state, it is illegal while intoxication or visibly impaired drug, illicit drugs, or prescribed drugs. Also, There are prescribed and unprescribed types of medications. A BSC of 0.08, please remember that, 0.08, not just in our state, across the country. If you're under 21, and I'm addressing all of you, you're under 21, you living in your mama's house, you're living in your dad's house, you're not paying bills, you can't afford your car insurance, you can't afford gas, you can't afford to get a haircut, you can't afford to get new shoes, you're under your mom and dad's, your caregiver's roof, but you're still disrespectful, you're still rude, you don't listen to them. Many of you need to be humble. Blood alcohol of 0.0 or greater, operating while under the influence. Also, if you buy or purchase alcohol with a fake ID, you could get in trouble. And the establishment that sold you the alcohol will get in trouble. Effects of alcohol. How will alcohol affect you? It relaxes the muscles in your eye. I'm pointing to my eye. There are muscles in there. When you focus, it relaxes the muscles in your eye so you can't focus. Eye focus. The human eye has the ability to change focus. You'll have double vision. Oh my God, I see two of you. No, I'm joking. Haha. Visual acuity. This is how clearly you see. Your visual acuity is affected. I love visual acuity because you don't hear that word. How clearly can you see? That's affected. Your gender. Women tend to get intoxicated sooner than men. Women are childbearers, God bless them. Men have more muscle. Born a man, born a woman. Women tend to get intoxicated first, men second. It depends on your gender, your body weight. I'm just reading the main elements. Thank you. Gender, body weight, size of the drink. Do you have food in your stomach that will absorb the alcohol? Don't worry, I got a good video for you. I got a good Kahoot for you. Don't think, oh, we just gonna be sitting here. Nope, you're gonna be working. I want to see the top of someone's face. Yep, we back 2 years ago during COVID. I should see your full face. I shouldn't have to tell you that. But some people ought to see their half face. You know who you are. The size of the drink, food in your stomach, how much time between each drink? The alcohol content. Is it a mixed drink? Is it a beer? Is it one of those lemon tea drinks? Here's some signs of a person who's under the influence. When they're driving, they turn very wide because they can't focus. They turn very wide. They straddle the center lane because they can't keep the car straight, because they can't focus. They drive on the shoulder of the road. They hug the right. These are clues you need, my segment 2 brothers and sisters, to help you. But you think, oh, I'm just going to sit here and play and lay back in the silhouette and not take notes. This class is more important than your segment 1. But yet some of you are like, I'm just going to chill and lay back in my seat and hide in the silhouette. I feel sorry for you. I wish your parents were watching, and many of them are. These are some indicators you need. Next. Drivers under the influence weave in and out. They can't keep the car straight in the lane. They weave in the lane. They drive very slow. 20 under the speed limit. 15 under the speed limit because they can't focus. They brake erratically. They're going straight and all of a sudden they hit the brake. They're in the curve, all of a sudden they hit the brake. They respond slowly to traffic control devices. The light's turning yellow, they stop after the intersection. You're saying, why did that car stop a block after the light? Because they're under the influence. They make illegal or abrupt turns. Some of you will be marked late because you came in late. It's recorded. I'm just letting you know. I'm following my job. Courtesy's watching right now. State is watching right now. You come in late, you'll get marked late, just letting you know, and I got to turn in attendance. So visual acuity, I'm just reviewing. Your side vision. You have trouble judging distance. Let's finish watching a couple minutes of this. These are people like you who are 5 years older, 10 years older. You're 16, they're 26. But they look like they're in their 30s because alcohol and drugs ages your body. I need you to really focus on why people are using and then driving, and they know it's against the law.
It's there for me somewhere. When things were going bad, I could always have a few drinks. Well, for me, it was never a few drinks. It was always a lot of drinks.
I was consuming about 30 beers a day, a whole case of beer, and 3/4 of a gallon of light rum. I would essentially have that and black out every night.
I could do nothing but drink 24/7, drink, pass out, drink, pass out.
I literally started drinking so much that I would shake if I didn't have a drink.
When I would not drink, I'd get extremely sick, deathly sick.
Just really achy all over, and you have headaches, and you're so dehydrated that you have no energy.
Alcohol had been, in and out my body so much that it had tore away some of the lining of my esophagus, and blood was creeping in.
I was a physical disaster. I was that far in my addiction of physical withdrawal that when I shut that alcohol intake off, my body tried to shut down.
The actual withdrawal from alcohol can kill you, for one thing, if it's too intense. Your body has no vitamins or
Went home and I stayed in my apartment.
I want you to hear this, females. I want you to hear this, males. Because some of you would take advantage of people who are under the influence of drugs, and you think it's funny, but it's called date rape. So I really need you to pay attention, because people aren't your friends when you're under the influence. They're going to take your money. They're going to take your phone. They're going to post pictures of you, because all of you are tied to your phone. But those aren't your real friends. So I want you to listen to this.
And that he wasn't going to make it. So the next day I got on a plane to go home. And my only way to confront this was to drink alcohol. So I showed up at the airport pretty drunk, and my family, saw me there, and, they didn't know what to say. The worst thing about it is that my father was kept conscious so that he could see me before he passed away. But instead of disgracing his memory, they put him on life support.
I had gotten kicked out of this bar for fighting. I was beyond drunk, and I was attacked and raped. And I went home and I stayed in my apartment for a week. My mom would come knocking on the door. I'd pretend I wasn't home. I felt like it was my fault. I was the one that was at that bar. I was the one that was getting drunk.
I went home and I had a roommate, and for some reason
So I need you to type into the chat, what did you learn from this? These are not weird people with long hair, walking down. They're people like you and I. Alcohol has no colors, no race, no religion, no sexual orientation. It impacts all of us. I need you going into segment 2, 16, 15, 9. You have some real decisions to make. What did you learn from watching this? What did you learn from me reading from the manual to prepare? This is real, and many of you are going to have to make real choices. I'm not here to hold your hand. Your mom and dad is not there. We hope your teachers, your coaches, your parents, we want you to live a happy, healthy life. But many of you won't do that. It's super important that you understand your goal. And if you don't understand your goal, then you won't meet your goal. What did you learn from watching this? As I went over this information, there are alternatives to drinking and driving. There are alternatives to drinking at a party. Stay home. Designated driver. We talked about how alcohol impacts your vision. It relaxes the muscles in your eye. You need to be looking through your notes. Many of you are just looking on the screen. I'm not going to take any notes. I'm not going to study for the test. I'm here to let you know this is day 2. The next time I see you will be this Thursday. And some of you will be very nervous because you could potentially fail the test because you didn't review your notes. And you're on summer. So you need to be looking through your notes. I'm highlighting them. I'm going over them. It's your responsibility. You have a study guide to do. Some of you didn't do that. And when I call your name, you have to put in your own personal responsibility. That's the biggest thing. And I get reminded every month how important my job is. It's super important. People will test you. If you're pulled over, you should be typing it in. I'm not going to hold your hand. If you're pulled over, they're going to do a breathalyzer. This is where you blow. I got a little pencil sharpener. We can pretend this is a breathalyzer. You'll have to blow into this device, and it will measure the amount of alcohol in your breath. Next, they could also do a urine test or a blood test. A medical professional is the only one that can draw the blood. There are other drugs that you're going to have to deal with, other drugs than alcohol, over-the-counter drugs, prescription drugs. They are given by a medical professional, a doctor. You hurt your shoulder. You might be given a really powerful pain narcotic, a muscle relaxer. You should not be driving. You go to your friend's party. You have a little sip. You think you can drive. You can't. They're illegal drugs. They affect your judgment, your vision, your alertness. Oh, I love feeling like this. Well, you're going to love crashing. You're going to love someone taking your money, taking inappropriate pictures of you, taking advantage of you, boys and girls, but you think it's a game. There are scandals that have happened at high schools across the country. I'm letting you know this is real. Illegal drugs. They affect your judgment, your vision, your alertness. They include marijuana. Our state is a marijuana state. There are people who are driving under the influence. It's illegal. Drugs most often are found in drivers involved in crashes. Alcohol, marijuana. Effects include loss of tracking ability, judgment, divided attention. Fatigue is one of the number one factors why people crash. They're tired. Causes of fatigue. You're working. You're trying to get money to go to college, get a car. Mental strain. Illness, lack of sleep. Sun, overheating. Type in what you learned. Type in what you learned. Everyone should, oh, I didn't learn anything. Well, I guess you're not listening. Type in what you learned. I'm reading straight from the manual. You have notes. Type in what you learned. Everyone should take a moment and type in what they learned.